Hi everyone, my name is Roxy and this is Stacey Franson from Alternative Learning Australia, and we're just doing a quick video about where to start when you've decided to take on a homeschooling journey for your children. And this is something that's fairly new to me, so I thought that I would actually ask Stacey to answer the questions as I go on, all the process that I'm going through at the moment. And so I thought we would do this in a recording and make it very conversational, and hopefully it'll give you an idea of how to move forward once you've made the decision. And it is very, very exciting for me. So I just wanted to say thank you to Stacey already, because she's coming with all of her expertise on this. So Stace, obviously, the first thing that I actually did before when I made this decision was to let the schools know. Now, that was just a simple email to the schools that my kids went to last year and that were enrolled in, and I just wrote a very simple, hi everyone, I'm just writing to let you know that I have decided to homeschool my boys this year. And so I'm just writing to inform you that. And then just, be really, you don't really need to go into too much detail. One of the things that I did say to them was just we feel, as parents, we feel that we can provide them the consistency that they need for school. And obviously with the past 2 years being really inconsistent with school, that's a very valid reason as to why you may want to pull your kids out of school. You don't have to go in super detail. It was a few lines of an email and then a thank you, because we do have a good school a relationship with our school coordinators. So I just thanked them, and that was kind of it. So that is where I started with that. Is that pretty much what you recommend, Steve? Or did I do things backwards?
Absolutely. I think if your children are already enrolled in school from last year, then step one is to notify the school that they won't be returning. You can do that by a phone call or in writing. You don't actually have to provide a reason. You just need to notify them. I think that's really a nice touch that you did, Roxy, thanking them and explaining a bit about why you're doing that. And they will let you know, okay, cool, this is how you register for home education. They will sometimes send you a little email, but I'll let you know, all you need to do is go to the Department of Education website, just Google Department Education Homeschooling WA. That will bring up the website where you go straight to.
Yeah. So with my experience, what happened was they emailed me back saying that within 14 days is that I'd need to go on and register. And until I had registered and they were notified that I had registered my children, the school is actually required to keep what do you call it, track of the attendance. So they're still going to send me your child didn't come to school today, up till they get a confirmation, or I can send them a confirmation of them being enrolled into homeschooling from the education department. So don't worry about that. They need to keep track of their attendance on their end. So I did get an email back with, here is where the link is. If you have the email address, the web address there, and just read it out, and I'll just I'll add it to our screen as well.
Cool. I might just message you after this with it, because it's a bit of a long URL, that one, but
yeah. So it is a Department of Education. We are in WA, and so this video is specifically for WA in the process, because wherever you are in whichever state you are has a different process, and a slightly different process about going with this. Is that right? Because I know that when I was looking into this when I was living in Sydney, it was slightly different. But don't be overwhelmed, because I was feeling like, oh my gosh, it's going to be this huge process, but it actually everyone was very nice about it and very friendly. So, right. So once I went into the link, I found that I had to, I couldn't just download a form. I couldn't just download a form, which is, I was hoping I could just register online. But no, there is no online form to do this. You actually have to call, right? And you've got to call your regional homeschooling people office. I don't know. Do you want to take us through that process?
Yeah, sure. So when you go onto that page on the Department of Education website for homeschooling, it'll say what the registration process is. Scroll down to where it says regional office. If you're north of the river, give that phone number a call. They will then get your contact details and email you or post you out the form to fill in. So,
so when I went onto that homeschooling thing, there was so much information on there, and it was like, oh, you're going to get a moderator, and then someone's going to come and like assess you, and it was like, it was enough to make me throw the towel in. But I had spoken to you earlier about this process, and that's why I hope that you guys, if you're watching this video, don't be overwhelmed by the idea of somebody coming in to assess you and the moderators coming in. They give you so much information, and it can be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to, like, you know, turn a room into a class and put a blackboard there and stand there for 6 hours. That's not what this is about. So I just what I found was when I called them, they were able to, she was really friendly. The lady who answered was really friendly. She just took the details of the children, so their name and birth date. And then she asked me again the reason, because they put down a reason of why I've decided to do that. And then again, I just spoke to them about, well, I just feel like it's been really inconsistent. We're not sure what this year is going to look like, and we want to be able to provide our children with the most consistent education, no disruptions. And I feel like being learning at home is going to be the best option for them. And she was like, okay, that sounds great. And then she said that she would email me, and 2 days later I got an email with the form. So Stacey, will you take us around just filling out this form and what that looks like, please?
Sure, I'll give it a go. So sharing my screen here, so let me know if you can see what you need to. All right. Okay, so this is the form, application for registration as a home educator. All you need to do is pop in your details there, your name, your if you're the mum or dad or guardian, your address, telephone number, email address, if the kids are citizens, or your visa class number. So just some really basic information there. Then the names of your children, their date of birth, current year level.
Now, so is it one form per student, or can you have, there's a multiple? I'm just looking at this for the very first time too. So you can put both of my boys onto one form?
Correct, yes. Okay. One form per family. So they've got some space there. Although I see if you've got a big family, you might want another form, but that's okay. All right. Okay, if there are any family court orders, they just need to be aware of that. Some details the educational program, I guess, when you're going to be starting and where you're going to deliver it from. So you would just put, say, for example, today's date and your home address, because you're going to be educating them from home. There's no education program provider here. You can skip that part. If you are Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander, tick those boxes. And then you just need to attach copies of the birth certificate and visa documents, proof of guardianship, if there's family court orders, and the marriage certificates and things. So it's a fairly straightforward form.
I saw an SCSA number provided. Is that just like the in that checklist down the bottom?
Yeah, no, I saw that mentioned a bit earlier as well. School Curriculum and Standards Authority number, SCSA or USI. Now, I haven't actually seen that before. That's something new on these forms. So you might just want to give the Home Education Office a call just to
Yep.
clarify if that's
I
something.
wonder if that is actually something that's in the actual email that I've been given, like as a reference number for myself, because that's what it looks like. It says what's provided. So let me just double check on mine.
They send this quick summary as well, if you can see that.
Mhm.
Yeah, so this is a little bit of about how to fill out the form and what the role of the moderator is, which I think we can just talk through, because that's a lot of words for something that's pretty.
Yes, totally.
I think, gosh, don't get overwhelmed by all of that.
I think, yeah, I think that one of the things that I just feel like is it can feel very overwhelming, and that, don't panic. This is new. This is going to be new to a lot of people,
Yeah.
and they're trying to provide you with as much information as possible. But sometimes that just feels like, whoa, this process is going to be huge. So I just think that keep calm and just take every thing step by step. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always contact there's 2 points of contact. The school coordinators are great with this, can support you. So if you have a good relationship with your school, to ring them, or ring the educational officers and ask them if you have any questions around the form. So that seems pretty straightforward. Do I have to drop that off personally, or can I post it, or
You can
can I
post that or
email it?
email. Yeah, you can email that in. That's absolutely fine.
And with the and obviously with the documents, do they need to be signed off with
By Justice of the Peace? Oh, I don't believe so. Oh.
It doesn't look like they do. It looks like it's just provide copies of. So yeah, it looks like a pretty straightforward registration stuff. Now from that point, so now I've sent off my and my form. The next thing that I need to do is set up a time with a moderator. So what does the moderator visit actually look like? Obviously it's in the first
12 weeks.
12 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, so you can have a few months to get ready for that. So what happens after you email off your registration? They will then post you out a confirmation that you're registered as a homeschooler. So your kids are registered, which is great. It will then be up to your moderator. So the home education officer will pick one of their moderators. They're experienced teachers who are assigned to various regions, and they will come out to meet you. So they'll actually give you a call and say, when's a good time?
Okay. What are they going to be looking for when they because this sounds like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be assessed for something. Like, what are they actually looking for? Because I know that with I mean, the first thing I thought was, again, I'm going to have to turn a room of my house into a school and make it look exactly like school, and I'm going to need all these qualifications and prove to them that I'm worthy of teaching my kids. So what are they actually going to be assessing, and what do they look for, and how do we prepare for this?
Okay, so what they're looking for is that you have organised a plan for your children. So in traditional school environments, the teacher would do the planning and the delivery of the education program. Now you're homeschooling, you as a parent are like the coordinator. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be a teacher. You just have to have a plan for how you're going to help your children meet the curriculum objectives for their year level. So I can share another very useful website with you if you like, just to give everyone a little bit of an overview of what you're going to need. So the curriculum is all available online. And okay, can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Can you see that one there?
Yep. So this is k10outline.scsAWA.home/teaching/curriculum-browser. So it's a big one, and we'll add the links onto this video down in the website. So we'll add this as a link to have a look at, and it looks like you just go into what year level your kids are to access what the curriculum focuses on, and then you build yours. So I just wanted to say that we will we'll be doing some training around this plan and this curriculum further in following videos. But alternative learning, one of our services is to actually sit with parents to help them create this plan in order to have a bit of an outline of where we're going in terms of what your homeschool education looks like for your children as well, and also to be compliant with these moderators and things like that. So again, please don't be overwhelmed by this process. We have lots of professionals, and we've got lots of people willing to help you to be able to get this together. And so there's going to be lots of support around this. So Stacey, I can see that you are looking at different types of learning. So maybe, so right now, I've registered my children. They've sent me a moderator. They've approved the plan that, and obviously I've worked with you to create my plan, and then we've basically everything is all good to go. Just going a sort of step back now, I just wanted to see, I hear about homeschooling a lot. I hear about unschooling, and I hear about deschooling. So there's three things that I really would love a little bit of a definition around, so people can understand when we talk about what each means, because they are slightly different, and I feel like it's really important to sort of get a grasp around what these mean. So yeah, what is the difference between homeschooling, unschooling, and deschooling?
Sure. Okay. So homeschooling is a really blanket cover for what you guys are about to do in your family. And the amazing thing is that you've got the flexibility to deliver education programs to your children however you want. So homeschooling is the overall broad umbrella term. Unschooling is a particular style of homeschooling, which favors child-led learning, learning through normal day-to-day activities, and through that demonstrating that your child has actually met particular literacy, numeracy, and other curriculum objectives through things like, planning and cooking a family meal, or whatever. Your child might be interested in Minecraft, and so you teach them how to spell through building letters with blocks. I mean, there's so many possible opportunities for that. Unschooling is a whole philosophy in itself. I couldn't possibly say it now.
I think that's probably something maybe we can explore a little bit further in terms of making another video that sort of talks around the concept of unschooling, because it's something that I find very fascinating. Teaching kids how to do things using everyday activities feels a lot less overwhelming than setting aside a big time that the children will study in terms of like class time. It just feels like, so what would a typical homeschooling day look like? I mean, obviously look at what a typical traditional school day looks like. So they're sitting down, they go for lunch, it's very structured. What would a typical homeschooling day look like? Do they have to have 6 hours of learning, or do they have to have is there like some criteria around how much learning they need, how much movement and play, or is that just completely up to us? Do we have to homeschool every day? All these questions.
Those are all really great questions, and I think that kind of leads to that thing about deschooling. So for any children who have been in the traditional school system, when you come out of that, it can be a little daunting. It can be a little like, what do I do with myself now? Not just for the parents, but with the children as well. And the fact that you don't need to copy school at home. You can structure and set up your day however works best for your children's needs, for your family. Some days you might be doing things like a workshop, some worksheets for maths. Other days you might be doing excursions out into the community. You could be hooking up with other homeschoolers doing sports classes. There's just so many ways you can structure it. It's kind of like we reverse engineer. So we go, okay, by the end of this year, my kid should have learned this, this, and this. How are we going to do that? How do we want to make that happen? And so during that deschooling period, that's a beautiful time for you as a parent to, play with your child, hang out, find out what their interests are, what are their passions, what do you think they'd like to do, and what are they going to respond to best.
And how long do you think that this deschooling process needs to last? Like, do you think, because I've heard multiple from a month all the way to 6 months of deschooling. So how long do you suggest that this process goes on for, where you're just kind of sussing out, I guess, how you want to do things and what the children respond to? And it feels like it's a break of structure. Yeah, so what do you recommend in terms of that?
It's completely individualized. There are people who do have rules about this, and they say for every year of schooling you need a month to deschool, but I really find that you will know by spending this extra time with your child, you will get to know and have a feel. And I know that sounds really vague.
So I think that with the way that we work, and for alternative learning, this is the kind of stuff that we are here, and Stacey is here to actually individually support you guys with. So the deschooling process, what does that look like? But when you come on board with your child into our network, you start with a consultation that will take you around what this looks like for your child. And so just be aware that you're not going to just be thrown into the dark or thrown into the deep end with this process at all. We're going to be there every step of the way to show you, okay, the deschooling process for you, let's try maybe this amount of time, or these are the things that you should probably watch for, that will indicate when it's time to put in a little bit more structure. And then obviously we'll be helping people with their plans and all those yummy things that I just heard you say, where, you know, community engagement with other children that are homeschooling through sports, so they can really get their socials. These are the programs that we are facilitating within the network. And of course, things like our online core learning, which will be, I think, a really great way to get the kids seated and educated them in a way that they don't require ongoing supervision for parents who can just take a break, let them do a couple of sessions on the program if you want to, in between whatever else you guys are doing. So yeah, that whole concept of unschooling and homeschooling and deschooling are they're very exciting to me, and it feels very organic and super flexible. Now, I think, is there anything else that you want to go over with us just quickly before we wrap up this first video? Is there anything that you want to add? I know that for me, it's been so reassuring to sit and have you involved in this process with me. And so, yeah, is there anything else that you want to sort of add that we should be aware of, or as parents that we could benefit from?
I think my biggest piece of advice would be to enjoy the process and to trust that it's going to work out. There are millions of people who've homeschooled, had really great experiences, and we'll be sharing with you some of these stories and some of the learnings. You can read about it. You'll get to know other people who are doing the same thing, and you'll grow in your, I guess, feelings of encouragement and confidence. So enjoy this time with your children. It's amazing.
That does sound amazing. Great. Well, thank you, Stacey. I will we'll be continuing our discussion and going into more detail on the things that we've been talking about. Guys, I just hope that this video sort of gives you a brief introduction and makes you feel a little bit more I guess less overwhelmed or calm or happy or excited, because it makes me feel really excited about this journey. And congratulations on exploring this option, because it really is a way to put your children's education back into your hands and the hands of the people that are there looking out, that know them. Nobody knows your children better than you, and nobody makes better decisions for your children than you. And so I'm really excited to continue this conversation with you. So we'll see you guys in the next training video. But if you have any questions, feel free to email us. And if there's anything that you'd like to hear more about, again, we have the contact button where you can send us all your questions and any kind of concerns, and we are here to support you. This is Roxy Labraz and Stacey Franson from Alternative Learning. We'll see you soon.